Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of my podcast, Loss, Love, and All the Other Shit in Between. Now, today, episode 4 is about love. Now, this is a topic that I been procrastinating about lately. I've kind of skipped and jumped to episode 3, should have been love, and the other way around. But I just felt I needed to spend a little bit of time on it to make sure I was happy and that I had everything that I wanted to talk about. And I love, I'm no way an expert. I'd like to think I am good at love, but my track record hasn't been great. But saying that, I was married at the age of 22, 23. Was married for close to 23 years. So you could say that was a good innings. It had its ups and downs, like any relationship does. And to go that amount of time, that was a bit of a, yeah, it was good. you know like I said, it had its moments, but yeah, no animosity, no issues, no stresses, nothing else. I've got nothing but love for my ex, and what I can take from it, the two greatest things that were ever created on this planet were my two kids. So for me, I would never go back and change any of it. Certain moments I would have maybe dealt with a situation a little bit different, like anyone would do. We all learn from our mistakes, and sometimes you cannot change them mistakes. But nah, I got no regrets. Certain choices that I made, either at leaving the country, leaving my family behind, and moving to the other side of the world. No regrets. It was the greatest times of my life, and and so many great memories. There were some painful ones, but that's just life in general. Now, love. Now, this is something I wanted to do. Now, I could have gone both ways. What I really wanted to do was attack all the women that have broken my heart, cheated on me, lied, deceitful, um, stole my money, left me in debt multiple times, ripping my heart out, jumping all over it. And then certain people, you could call it gaslighting, right? But certain people telling me certain things involving spending time with my kids, um, telling me to um, to not go with other women, um, kind of messed around with my head, made me feel that there was something there, but there obviously wasn't. And that ruined me. That absolutely ruined me. That was tough to take. But no, this is not that type of podcast. It's not going to be a podcast where I slate women or talk about all the people that did me wrong over my life. In a way, it's made me into the person I am today. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm some sort of expert, because I'm far from it. But what I can do is share my experiences and what I've found really difficult. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm a loving person. I know that I'm an amazing father who makes mistakes, obviously. I do have a job. I The only thing I use my nose for is breathing. Um, Not a massive drinker. I like to have a drink from time to time, but I don't crave it. For me, love is important. Love makes the world go round. Now, I've been single for about on and off for about 6 years now, since my marriage ended. And I've had some experiences. I have had some experiences, and I'd love to share them all with you, but but no, I can't. It'll be too X-rated. It'll be too I think I'd be taken down, I think. But, I like quality time with people, and for me, the best relationships are with your best friends. I know that sounds a bit funny. I know people will look at that and say, you cannot date your best friends, you cannot date your friends. I get that. But you got to understand when you meet somebody for the first time, you don't know them. You're strangers. And that might be an attraction for some people, but it takes time to build up that relationship. It takes time to become friends, to build that trust, to know each other. And yeah, you could say that's all part of relationships. But one thing I always mention in my podcast is that life is way too short. Why have we got to spend the next 2 years getting to know each other? If you know me already and you know the kind of person I am, then why not take the risk? A lot of people always said to me, even from school days, they used to always say to me, Sean, but you're such a good friend and you're so lovely. And I don't want to ruin our relationship as friends. I've had that since I was, 11, 12. And certain people and certain individuals know who they are. But I think it's codswallop. I really do. And I don't know if that's a word that was from the BFG, but it's pure and utter bullshit. It really is. Look, if you are in a relationship with your friend, all right, and it doesn't quite work out, all right, it's not going to end painfully. It wouldn't be with me. I've never ended in a relationship where it's become painfully so bad that the person can't talk to me again. People that have dated me could easily come forward and say, we're still friends. We still talk. The only people that I don't talk to is relationships that weren't my friends. I've dated a lot of my friends throughout the years and it's not done me any wrong, so I don't quite get it. To me, it's just them pussyfooting around it, that they just use that as an excuse because they're not interested. Do you get me? So that element, I just don't get. I just don't get. I would rather date somebody that I know because you already have the walls have already been taken down because you feel comfortable with that person. They know your inner dark secrets. They know about you. And that I don't get. Now, I get it. Most of my friends are in relationships or they're married or whatever. I get that. And that's a no-go. Okay, I get that. But if you're single and we're friends and we already know each other, what is the issue? I don't get it. Um, but that's just their way of being polite. That's just their way of saying, look, I don't want to hurt you and you're so lovely. You're hurting me more by rejecting me. I don't think they quite get that. I generally don't understand that. But now, love, it is tough. When I was single to start my life again in my 40s, I was 42 at the time. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to begin with, like anyone would do, because you've got to move on. You've got to start your life again. So I put a lot of pressure and I don't think I was quite ready yet. And I met this girl probably about 8 months after my wife left. And she was 10 years younger than me. So you could say it was an ego thing. I don't think it was. I generally don't think it was because, you know, the age thing didn't affect me in any which way. I don't think she was mature enough. No, she was married. She was previously married. And we dated for a while. We dated for about 3, 4 months and it was going good. But she was a pathological liar and I caught her out. And I opened up. Everything was great. I spent quality time with her. She spent New Year's with me. We spent Christmas together. We spent New Year together. Everything was great. It was going fine. She lost her job and she got a new job and she was in Derby, I believe. And Valentine's had come up and I'd made a plan to go visit her. I had 5 days off and I thought I'd do the romantic gesture. I'll go spend time with her, take her out for dinner. And she was backtracking. She was already saying, but it's no point coming through. You know, time I finish work, it's late. And you're like, all right, yeah, good one. And I was going there anywhere. So I was going there anyway. So it was easier for me to go see her. And so I didn't go. I ended up going to a club in MK. And me and my friends went in this club. And who was there? She was standing there at the bar with two guys. Now, my friend said I should confront her, but I thought, you know what? I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to rise to it. She saw me upstairs. She didn't think I saw her. She went downstairs. She grabbed a jacket. She went downstairs. And I just messaged her and just said, look, you look really nice tonight. And I said to her, let me know when you get home safe. And then she didn't think for a second to respond to it. The very next day, she messaged me and just said, oh, I just got back to MK. How was your weekend? And I'm going, what? Sorry, you just got back from MK? Oh, you just got back to MK? And yeah, I did. And I went, okay, cool. So, you know, one of the nightclubs up the city centre, it takes a lot of pictures, and she was on the website. So I just sent to her, so this is not you then. And then the crying started, and oh, I'm really sorry, Sean, you know, I'm really, really sorry. And I went, okay, I'm not interested. I'm really not interested. So many people have done this to me. I'm not interested. So yeah, again, it broke me. I went 3-4 months, and then she messaged me out the blue for my birthday in September. So this was like 7 months later, just under 7 months. Sean, I really want to make a go of this. I want to, you know, I want to be your girlfriend. Well, and I said, okay. But I put the walls up. No, I didn't say that to her. I put the walls up and I just left it at that. It wasn't even 2 weeks later, I checked her Facebook status, and on there said she was in a relationship. So I clicked on the button. When I clicked on the button, she's in a relationship with somebody else. So, bye. So I got rid of her, and then I got the crying, and I'm sorry, and okay, sorry, I don't have time for this shit. And then, yeah, I had to go into the online dating thing. And that's very daunting. You know, one of them has a bad rep because it was originally used for meeting up with male or females in your area. And it was used for sex, say. And it got a bad rep. So a lot of people stayed off it. So one of the ones I use is Bumble. It's a really good site. It gives women control, which is a good thing, right? For protection of women. But there's so many people on there that ghost you. You know, I understand them. People match you. They make a mistake. So just unmatch. Simple as that. You don't have to just see what the guy's like and then just start ghosting him. Yeah, I matched a few crazy ones. Went on a few dates. Won't go into massive amounts of detail, even though I did on the previous one, but that really annoyed me. Yeah, you'd always think that men always think this, but there was one woman I matched, and she, on our first date, she booked a hotel. I always thought that men would think that that's most men's fantasy, but you know, it was a bit offish. I ain't gonna lie. She doesn't know who I am. I know I'm genuine. I know I'm not one of them sadistic kind of people, but you don't know who you're meeting. So she books a hotel, and I won't go into too much detail, but we didn't leave the hotel. We generally didn't leave the hotel, and we were supposed to go out for dinner, but you know. And then, yeah, I just said to her, look, the next morning, I said, look, why don't you come spend the weekend with me? Next weekend, why don't you come spend 3 days with me at my place? And I'll take you out for dinner and we'll go on a proper date. I'll take you out for dinner. We'll go to the cinema. I'll take you for a Sunday roast. I'll take you for breakfast. I'll cook you breakfast in bed. All the bells and whistles. So she did. Stayed the weekend. And it went okay. It was a good day and everything was fine. But then on Sunday, she had to get up at 5 in the morning. So I kept my eyes kind of half shut, and I walked her to the door and I said, goodbye, see you soon. Still a gentleman, but why should I, on my day off, get up at stupid o'clock and then lie in bed? So I went half shut eyes so I could go back to sleep. So she said, yeah, message me when you get up. So I got up, and one of my kids were abroad at the time, and they'd messaged me. So that's priority, right? Um, and she's obviously waiting for my response to her message, and I hadn't got round to her message yet. And I kept getting pings on Bumble saying, you've got another match. You've got women that are interested in you. So I'm the kind of person that if I'm talking to somebody or I'm dating somebody, I'm not looking for somebody better. I'm not that kind of guy that will look for a better option when I'm talking to somebody. If I'm talking to you, it's you and only you. And if it doesn't work out and there's no connection, that ends. I'll give it a few days and then I'll go back on the app again because I'm trying to find love, right? So I thought I'd go on the app quickly and I'll delete the option of continuously notifying me of matches and women that are interested in me. I wasn't even on there for 5 seconds and she went straight on there. She contacted me through the dating app to tell me it must have been a great weekend then if you're on here looking at other women. And I said, whoa, first of all, calm down. And secondly, who are you to tell me what I can and cannot do? We spent a weekend together and one night of passion at a hotel on our first night. So you don't have the right to talk to me in that way or manner. But I'm going to be honest with you. I was on the app to take off the notifications. Oh, no, you weren't. You're one of them arsehole men, whatever. And I said, okay, I don't need to justify myself to you. See you later. And then obviously I got called all the names under the sun. Gave it a few days and she left a bottle of Archers at my place. She messaged me and says, I need my stuff back. I left a bottle of Archers and this, that, and that. And I said, okay, no problem. I'll meet you halfway. I'll meet you so I don't have to come to your house. I'll meet you halfway, somewhere where there's public, where there's people. I'll take you there. Now, I wasn't scared from my thing, but again, I'm going to respect the woman. I'm not going to meet her in a forest or something. You're mad. So I went there and I gave her her stuff and she left a little sugar pot because she carries sugar with her everywhere. And I gave her a sugar pot. She goes, oh, you really aren't an arsehole. You really are a nice guy. And I said, well, I told you that. Okay. But again, this is to do with previous relationships. Must have been. But I thought there was no point being friends on Facebook because I felt she was only on there for one reason and one reason only, was to follow a certain individual that I'm friends with, right? Because he used to date one of her friends or whatever you. So I didn't want any of that, anything like that. So I unfriended her. Then I got the attacking and then I got this and I got called every name. And then she said, I've also left a 2 litre bottle of Coke in your fridge and I've also left a bar of chocolate. I said, look, give me your bank details and I'll send you over a fiver. Oh my God. So yeah, that didn't go down too well. Um, so yeah, so that was another situation. You know, all I'm trying to do is find love, right? I don't go on the apps and make up some made up account. I tell you how it is and I tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a long-term relationship. I'm not looking for a quick fix. That I can get anytime I want it, and I'm not being big-headed, but I can. So it's not just the physical element that I'm looking for. I'm looking for love, and I'm looking for somebody that I can spend the rest of my life with, somebody I can introduce to my kids, so my kids can actually feel that I'm now happy, that I'm now settled, that I'm now in a good place in my life. I want my kids to want to spend time with this individual. So yes, when somebody asks to spend time with my kids and do you think they'll like me? Yes, that's obviously what I'm looking for. But obviously I misread that. I must have made that up or something. But I've had so many issues with these online dating. I just don't quite get it. I want that 80s, 90s love, right? Them 80s love story romantic movies. I want the 90s relationships that we had back in the days. You went to a bar, you met a woman, You chat to her because you had the confidence. I've got confidence, obviously. But you can't do that nowadays because the women that are in bars, no disrespect to women that like to go out and have a good time. I've got no issues with that. But that's not the lifestyle that I'm looking for. I lived in bars. I dated women that were in bars. My life in South Africa was continuously drinking. Okay, we drank every day. I drank before I played football. That's how we did it. We drank before we played, and we drank after. We drank afterwards. So I've already had that life. That's not the life I want, and I generally don't want to be effed up on a Sunday morning, feeling rough as shit, and the quality time with you is snuggled up on the couch. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy that. But I don't enjoy it when I'm falling asleep and waking up and falling asleep, feeling rough, and I've got to throw down some KFC or something just to get through the day. It doesn't feel great, but I do like to snuggle. But with dating, yeah, I don't quite get it. You know, I've met so many women that, they're looking for love as well. But most women I match just want to be a pen pal. Now, I used to have a pen pal back in school. I'm sure we used to write letters to people in prison as well. And I think I had a French pen pal. I used to write to her all the time. She used to write back to me. Yeah, I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for a pen pal. But I'm not going to be rude about it. For me, you match somebody on a dating site. Now, I'm not saying we match on the Friday, we go out on a date on the Saturday. I'm not saying that. Let's get to know each other a little bit longer, right? I've got no issues with that. But the quicker we go out for dinner or cinema, maybe not cinema, it's not ideal for a first date, but we go out for dinner, we spend some quality time together, or I'll walk around the park, a picnic, whatever you want to do, I'm happy to do. And see if there's a connection. But if there's no physical, there's no spiritual kind of connection, and we're both not feeling it, then we just be honest with each other and we just tell each other it doesn't seem like it's going to work, you know. And I get it. A lot of women on the dating apps, they do tend to use the what you call it, like the Instagram, what you call it, features or whatever where you can change the way you look, you can change your skin color, you can change so you don't show any of your marks. Or yeah, I get that, but you got to look pretty close to what you've got in your picture. Same as men do it as well. I'm sure they do, but I'm not looking for a man. No disrespect. Everyone to their own, but I don't know what men do on the dating sites. I know I'm just honest and I'll say how it is. You can easily find me on there and you'll read my bio. Okay. And then there was another woman in Birmingham. She was a teacher. I really fell for her. We were on and off 6 months to 8 months. It was great. It was going really, really well. But she had low self-confidence. And I get that. I always seem to attract the broken people. But I'm in a point in my life now where I want to be with somebody who's at least 60 to 65% okay. Do you get me? So if I'm now sitting at 60, 65%, then together we can try and get that other 30%. We help each other and we get there, right? But when you're dating somebody who's only at 20%, it takes forever to get them up to that certain level. And by that time, you've depleted already. And then it's a struggle in the relationship. Then it's arguments. Then it's fights. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. So I wanted to spend some quality time with her. So I was chatting to this teacher and it was going really well. But then I was going to my brother's and I said to her, look, I'm going to my brother's tonight. Let me know when you want to call and then I'll make time. I'll make time for you. Oh, no, no, no. I don't want to cut into you and your brother's time. I said, it's not an issue. If you say you want to call me at 10 o'clock, then if me and my brother are in deep conversation or we're watching a movie, I know at 10 o'clock I need to step away. No, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. I said, okay, all right. Um, and then 3, 4 days later, nothing from her. No responses, no nothing from her. So what actually happened was then I messaged her and I said to her, look, what's going on? What's the issue? And then she said, oh, I thought you met somebody else. So I don't know if I come across that that's what I do. If I'm talking to you, I'm talking to 5 other women. I know women do it as well. I know women do that as well. You know, they'll look at better options as well. Everyone's human. I get that, but that's not me. Okay. If I'm talking to you, then it's only you. Okay. And if it's not working out, then I need to say to you. Okay. And people that know me know I'm not shy. I'll tell you how it is. I won't be cold about it because I don't really feel I need to, but I'll just tell you how it is. So I struggle with all this shit. I really do. And it gets to the point where you just give up. And then you spend a lot of quality time at work and you like some people you work with, but it doesn't really gel. Okay. And a lot of that's down to my age. You know, I'm at the age, I'm getting close to 50. I'll be 50 next year. And I'm not shy to say it. I know I look great, but you're getting to half century, you know, and I'm looking for another long term. You know, I've got at least another 20, 30 years left in me. And I would love to spend that with somebody I love. You know, I'm all about holidays. I'm all about shared experiences, like I mentioned in previous podcasts. I'm an old school romantic. I always have been. I'm always about, like I said to you, experiences. So for me, I like to, you know, organize trips. I like weekends away so we can get to know each other on a different level. Not just the physical element, but the spiritual and the mental level. So, you know, you want to match on all different levels of that person. I'm the kind of person when the person that you're with gets home from work, and I know not many people don't like baths, but I'm a bit of a masseuse, right? So what I tend to do is I like to run them a bath so they can relax. You know, get them their favorite glass of wine. You know, even if it's a cup of tea, glass of water if it needs to be, a book, a little bit of music, a candle, so they can relax from their day at work. All right. So I can then cook dinner, and if I've got time, do the dishes at the same time. When you get out of the bath, get a dressing gown on, get in some sexy pajamas or just in your granny pajamas, whatever you feel comfortable wearing. We come down, we have dinner together, all right, and then I'll go and put on your favorite show because I'll watch anything. Because me, it's about spending time with you, and because I need to keep myself busy, I like to massage. So I massage feet, and it's not a foot fetish. I just want you to relax. And if it's not your feet, then it's your legs, your back, shoulders, whatever you need massaged. Because I am good on my hands. And then we go to bed, and all the other stuff that comes after that, um, is what it is. All right. But it's not about just that. And anyone who says that that's not important, it is. Sex is really important in every relationship. So anybody that says it's not, you're obviously with the wrong man. All right. It is important. You know, it's how you build relationships. It's how you connect. Um, and you've got to have that physical attraction. If you don't have it, then what is it? It's a friendship. It's not a relationship. And I get it within reason, but it is important. Now, I'm all about that, you know, so I don't generally feel that there is an issue with me. I just feel women nowadays are really picky and choosy of what they want. And I get that. They're entitled to it. It's their prerogative. But all I would say to them people is, how well has it gone for you before? That you're looking for a certain person, a certain rugged, bad man kind of image, you know, the muscles, the tattoos, um, the rawness, you know, the scars, the tough boy. I just don't get it. I generally don't get it. You know, for me, it's always been about the personality. Oh yeah, right. As if no, but it is. Okay, it's not all about the looks. It isn't that to me. It never has been that for me. You know, we can all have a fantasy of a person that we may want to get with, but that's all it is. It's just a fantasy. You know, it's not real. You know, you've got to be lucky enough to end up with a famous singer or an actress or what have you. But for me, no, I get to know the person on that level and mainly on a spiritual level. And it's not about the looks. If you get on well and you've got a good sense of humor and you like to have a good time, that's all that matters to me. You know, if you're going to love me and you're going to love my kids, you know, I don't need a woman to be a mother to my children. You know, they've already got a mother. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to replace that person. You know, I'm replacing the friend that I had, my best friend that, you know, I've obviously lost. But I want somebody to be there for me and that supports me and supports me as a father. But, you know, I don't need somebody coming in and being a mother to my kids, like I said to you. But most people my age have already got their own kids, and I'm not going to also do that in return. The only time I would step in and do that is if they've lost their father, um, or their father was never in their lives. Then yes, but like any relationship, you take on their baggage, you take on their family, you know, their mother, their father. You know, you need to be a good son to them. So, for me, there's so many different elements of love, you know, and it's tough for me. I really do struggle with it. I do struggle being alone. I've never really been alone in my life, and for the last 6 years I have been. And what's been difficult for me is that at the beginning when my wife left, people were saying to me, Sean, just give it time, the right person will come along. You know, the old cliche that everyone says to you. If somebody says to me, the right person will come along, but it's going to take you about 7 years, do you know what I would have said? No way I'm waiting that long. No way, you know? But I let it run its course and I've been on a few dates and I've done everything that I need to do. And at points in your life, you end up wanting to just give up. And I'm not saying giving up on life, giving up in relationships, giving up on women, because I don't know what else I'm supposed to do, you know? And I always keep getting told, Sean, you're so lovely. You're such a nice guy. And I don't understand it. I don't know how you're still single. Why are you still single? I don't fucking know. Why don't you tell me? Please tell me. And people say you need to get out more, Sean. You need to go to bars and clubs. I'm 48 years of age. I'm not going clubbing. I'm a very good dancer and I don't care. People can laugh or whatever. People that do know me well know I can dance. And that's how I met my wife. That's how I've met a lot of women through my time is being a dancer. And I'm a good dancer. Yes, I've got older. I was carrying a lot of weight. I'm now not, you know, I've lost a lot of weight and I've obviously gained a lot of muscles and stuff like that. But it's, I can still dance. I've still got rhythm. Either that's in the bedroom or outside the bedroom. I've still got rhythm. And yeah, I just feel I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to go on single cruises? Am I supposed to go on what's it called? First dates? I love that show. I'd love to go on there, you know? I'd love to go on there. But no, do I want to make a spectacle of myself on that? And be a laughing stock when the woman turns around and says, no, I'm all good, thank you. How about we just stay friends? We'll stay friends, but we won't talk again. We'll just, I'll just disappear, but I'll be an acquaintance. I'll be in the background, and ever so often I'll check in with you. Yeah, that's not a friend. That's not a friend at all. Um, but no, I'm good. I don't need that. But Yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to keep going. You know, that's all we have to do. Um, I'm not going to change who I am. For a long time, I was manipulated into change in me as a person, and I need to change to adapt to what they wanted, but I wasn't happy. And then you get that kind of thought in your head that this is your life now, and you have to do it. You have to adhere to what they say to get what you want. Nah. Now I'm at a point now where I say, fuck it. I don't give a shit anymore. You either like me or you don't like me. If you don't like the person that I am, then it's your loss at the end of the day. So while you're sitting at home drinking a glass of wine, going, I'm so glad I didn't get with Sean. You know, now I've got all these other men that are interested in me. Okay, well, please tell me how that's going. Please tell me how that's going. And if that's working for you, then I'm happy for you. I generally am, because your happiness is that's all that's important to me. But I've just got to a point now where I don't feel I need to sell myself. You know, people that know me know I'm a genuinely nice guy. I work. I've got a job. Um, I've been in my current job for over 12 years now. I got employee of the year, done really, really well, and I've excelled in different levels, either it being Africa, in the Congo, in Germany, Amsterdam, London. You know, I've worked in places all over the place, and I'm experienced, and I love my job, the job that I'm currently in now. So I'm not a layabout. I pay my bills, I pay my way. I go on what, 2, 3 holidays a year, and I go back home to Scotland at least 2, 3 times a year. So I do a lot of traveling, and I want you to come with me. I want you to experience these them moments with me. But that's not enough. Good father, and I'll do anything for my kids. Trust me. Trust me, daddy. I'll do anything for my kids. They're my world. Now that's a different type of love. That's an experience. Becoming a father was the most important thing in my life, and that definitely gave me all my purpose. Some people know, some people don't, and you could say it's an element of love as well. I never had a father. My father couldn't take the responsibility of being a father. He left 2 weeks before I was born, so I never met him. My mum told me his name was Campbell Laurie. Then my mum's best friend at that time told me that no, you're actually named after your father. Your father's actually called Sean Campbell Laurie. Then it was Sean Laurie Campbell that his surname was Campbell. But yeah, it is sad. But you know, so under no circumstances was I ever, ever, ever going to not be a father. And was I ever going to step away from my kids? They're my world. No matter where I am in the world, and they're in a different part of the world, then I'm moving to that part of the world. I need to be there to protect my kids. That's my job. That's my job, to be there for my kids. I don't give a shit. Okay? Anyone that harms or puts any issues towards my kids, trust me, they're my world. They really are. And that was one of the proudest moments of my life. Trust me, becoming a father. Yo, that definitely mans you up. That definitely makes you a real man that steps up. And that's me. So that's not good enough for you. Being a good father and being committed to life choices. Like I said, doesn't do that. Not a massive drinker. Never hitting a woman in my life. Never ever. My mum brought me up correctly, and to respect women, and to cherish that woman and treat that woman like a queen. And that's all I've ever done. That came from my mother, who brought up 3 boys. And we were always told from a young age that you must love the woman that you're with. You must cherish the woman you're with. And that's all I've ever done. Still not good enough. So yeah, it does get to me. It does. And it affects you in certain ways, and people break your heart and they reject you and they make you feel ugly. Yeah, but you're not ugly. You're such a nice guy. All right, cool. But you don't find me attractive. Yeah, but you're not my type. Okay, but what is your type? And how has that type gone for you in the past? How is that? The guys that you've been with in the past, have they treated you well? Yeah, probably not. But you just keep choosing them same guys. Go for it. Good luck. And if it does work out for you, I'm happy for you. But nah, I've just got to a point now where I know I'm worthy and I know I'm a good guy. But trying to find that elusive love, that spark, and to find that individual, that soulmate. I thought I did find my soulmate probably as early as 6 months ago, 7 months ago. I believed I found my soulmate and I put everything into it and I fell straight flat on my face. I'm still struggling with that. But again, that's not my choice. It's not something I can do. It's not something I can change. It is what it is. So even though I still believe she is, I've just got to ignore it. I've just got to leave it now and just move on, move forward from it. But yeah, love. It's really tough. And the thing is, life is so quick. Who'd think that, what are we talking now? 5 months into the year. We're only like 2 weeks away from being 6 months into the year already. That's how quick life goes. And people are like, yeah, no, I need to take my time and, we need to see how it goes. What are you scared about? Get to know me. Speak to my friends. Speak to people that I'm family with. Speak to my family. They will tell you I'm not a bad person, but I don't feel I need to do anything more than that. But yeah, we just keep going, right? We just got to keep moving forward, and the right person will come along. They're going to knock on my door one day and they're going to say, "Excuse me, sir, do you have any sugar?" And then I'm going to go, "Yes." And then we're going to start dating. No, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. And I live in an apartment, so nobody's going to come to my front door unless they already live in the building, and that's not going to be happening. Trust me. And I go to the gym. I go to the gym around about twice a week. I work out for about 2-3 hours a week. I'm all about my fitness, and yeah, and that's what I'm about. So I've been working on myself for a while, which is great. I I feel good within myself. I'm confident. I love the way my body is, and I've never been body conscious before. I've never really overly thought about it, but now I'm all about my body now, and that's a good thing. I'm all about the health kick. I want to be here for a lot longer. I want to make sure that I'm here for my kids. I want to make sure I'm there for the person that I love. I've lost a lot of people, and I don't want my kids to go through that. And I generally don't want the person I love to go through that as well and to be left with that pain and that regret. And I wish we'd done this and I wish we'd done that. For me, live it now. Let's do something. Let's get to know each other. Let's get out there. Let's travel. Let's spend time. Let me help you with your work. Let me help you with what you need to do. Let me help you with your kids. Let me take away a lot of that stress and burden that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Let's put our finances together. Let's live that comfortable life that we both want. Let's do what we need to do. But come on now. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But one of my kids told me that maybe I should go on speed dating. Then it'll be good for the podcast to go through that feeling and what it felt like to go on speed dating. I'm not shy. People know me. I will speak to anybody if I need to. And I'm happy speaking in front of crowds and that. But speed dating is literally that, right? So you've only got like a minute to sell yourself. It is like a job interview because it is a job in a way, really, isn't it? Being somebody's partner, it's a job, it's a profession, you know, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, um, a friend with benefit, you know, everyone to their own, I'm here to satisfy. But it's, you have to sell yourself in a small window. And again, but then that's kind of false because the pressure's on and then it's all about looks again. And if you don't tick the box, you know, you can go onto Temu and you order Jason Statham and you get me. So I'm the Temu version, but that's what you have to do, and again, at the end of the day, you got to have a sense of humor. You got to have a laugh. Life is way too serious to worry about that kind of stuff. But guys, this is just a small element of love and what I've found and the struggles that I've found over the years. And hopefully it's kind of helped to get a bit of an understanding what I feel the issues are, because one of the main issues that we do find is past relationships that ruin you, right? So it's past relationships that dictate to you what you bring into the next relationship. And if you're not fully fixed, then you bring that pain into the next relationship. So I get that you need a bit of time to get through that. But trust me, time waits for nobody. Okay? Going into a relationship with somebody that you care about and as a friend, let that friend heal you. Let that friend help you. Let that friend do the physical element and the mental thing. Let them be there to support you. Okay, I don't see that as being a bad thing. And if it doesn't quite work out, it doesn't work out. But you leave amicably, and you still stay as friends. I don't see that as being an issue. But people seem to think that through manipulation and everything else that you're not going to do that. You're going to gaslight and do all that kind of stuff. That's not me. I don't do that kind of thing. At the end of the day, I just want to spend some quality time with you. I'm trying to organize dates and you're brushing me off for a bingo night or brushing me off about going we're out with friends. And I'm all right with that because you're allowed to have your life. You're allowed to have a separate life. But even when I give you my schedule for the next 6 months, you let me know when you're free. Here's my days off. Let's spend some quality time together. Okay, I'll let you know. And then they never do. But yeah, I'm the one that's manipulating. I'm the one that's pushing too much. I'm not. I'm just saying, I want to take this to the next level. You want to wait 3 months, 4 months, 5 months because the previous person broke your heart. Yeah, I get that. They used you. They did whatever they did to you, and it's wrong. And I'm sorry that you've had to go through that, because that kind of ruins it for the next guy. So that one idiot ruins it for the next guy who is the right guy for you. But you cannot move forward because you're still nursing that pain, and you need to spend time for yourself. Trust me, I've done it for so long. It didn't help nothing. It puts you in a darker place, and it takes a lot longer for you to get out there. And then all your trust is broken, and you need time to build that trust up with that individual. And a lot of men don't wait for that. A lot of men will jump ship because they don't feel they need to wait that long. Me, I'm different. If it's the right person, then I'm willing to go at your pace. I'm willing to go at your speed. But there's speed, and then there's you're going at their speed, but at the same time they're talking to other men. Yeah, I'm not into that whole cheating stuff. It's not really for me. So for me, you're either in or you're out. And like I always say, if you don't like the cards that's been dealt to you in life, take them cards, give them back to the dealer and say you fold. Now give me another pair. And again, if you don't like the cards you've been dealt with, throw them back in again until you get the right set of cards. You got them two queens or them two kings or a king and queen. You know where I'm going with that. And then with that, then you put it all in. Okay, in any relationship, you put it all in. You put all your chips on the table and you say, I'm all in. I'm riding this one right to the end. And if you're lucky enough, you can win big. All right, so hopefully this one's been okay. It's a little bit longer as normal. I've been struggling to try and find out what I was going to talk about in that element. I would have loved to attack all the people that have ruined me, but they've made me into the person I am. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart and out my ass. So thank you for breaking my heart, for messing me about, for stealing my money, for leaving me in tons of debt, um, blowing all my confidence, making me hate myself. Um, but I'm good now. So, hopefully it worked out for you. Hopefully you got what you wanted out of life by breaking me. That's fine. Do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, now I have to put a wall up. I have to put a wall up on the next woman. And that's not fair on the next woman because she's looking for the same things I'm looking for. And I've had to put a wall up now because I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to spend 6 months getting to know somebody and taking it to that next level, and then they just spit and shit on you. And then the next woman comes along and they also want to do it. And it's just like a knock-on effect. Um, but yeah, I'm good. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep working on the podcast, which is also working on me. I'm going to still work in the gym. I'm still going to work. I'm still going to love my kids. I'm still going to love my friends. And if them certain individuals and them friends don't want to be friends with me anymore, then that's up to them. Okay. But I'm always going to be there for you. I'm always going to be there when you need me to pick you up. And I'm always going to be there to support you. I made a commitment to a certain individual that said to me, Sean, you need to protect her. And I need you to ensure that she's safe. And I'm always going to do that. Even if it is from afar, I'm going to keep doing it. Because when I commit to something, I don't give up. Okay. But I'm no stalker. So I'm not saying I'm going to push on you. You've made your feelings very, very clear. That's it. But I'm always going to be in the background, making sure that you're okay and checking in on you from time to time. So now I'm going to end it with something that I put together. Now, certain people should get it. I just think it's a little bit different, but I think, I'm going to do what I need to do. So thank you. So today I'm wearing my Men's Minds Matter t-shirt. I'm just going to touch on this for a little bit. I'm going to be doing the summit at Mount Snowdon in Wales on June the 14th for Men's Minds Matter for suicide prevention. And it's something that's really close to my heart, and I'm going to be supporting these guys. Now, you could say that climbing up Mount Snowdon, whippity ding dong, but now we're doing this at midnight. Okay, we're leaving at midnight and we're going to reach the top of the summit around about 4 or 5 in the morning, depending on which way we go. So we're going to get to the top and it's going to be at sunrise, and it's supposed to be an amazing experience when the light comes out and you got the clouds and it feels like you're in heaven. So I'm doing this for my little brother, and hopefully you guys can support me. I've put it up, and I guess certain people are really slow at supporting me, but that's fine. At the end of the day, I'm going to get the money either way. If I can't get it from my friends and my family, I'm gonna, I'm gonna take it to work with me, and I'm gonna make sure that work support me, and I'm gonna get companies to support me. So either way, I'm gonna get it. But I thought I'd wear the shirt today. This is the shirt I've got to wear with all the other bells and whistles and the night light and everything else that I need to get for the event. So yeah, it's around about 9 hours to 10 hours walking, depending which route that you go on. We're going to set off at midnight, get to the top about 4 or 5 in the morning, with no sleep, obviously, and then the 5 hours down. So it's going to be a lot of pain. It's going to be dark. It's going to be scary. I'm not going by myself. I'm going with Men's Minds Matter, and there's going to be a lot of people doing it for their loved ones and for people that they support and for people that they've lost. And yeah, it's going to be a beautiful thing. So this is the first of many events that I'm going to be doing throughout the year. And yeah, and I'll take you guys along for the ride. It will be a bit dark, but I'm going to do as much footage as I possibly can. And that'll be like a mini podcast, and it's going to highlight the certain people. I'm going to be interviewing a few people if they'd like to talk about the issues that they've seen and who they're doing the walk for, if they don't mind being put on here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a bit, but I've committed to it, and I'm doing this for my little brother. So yeah, so thank you guys. And that's another bit of love, love for my family, my kids, and everybody out there, and people that are struggling. Please reach out. I'm always here, and if you ever want to talk, go for a coffee, like I always say, then I'm happy to do that with you guys. All right. So just know that you are loved and you are worthy, and and all lives matter. So let's look after each other. All right. So here we go. So again, thank you guys, and thank you for watching or listening out there. And hopefully it wasn't all over the place, but yeah, love is a crazy thing, right? It is the crazy thing they call love. All right. So here we go. Access is a privilege, not a right, and your peace is the property being protected. Not everyone deserves a key to your life, and let alone not everyone deserves a key to the quiet places that hold so much vulnerability, pain, trauma. Because some people come in like termites, not to build, but to burrow quietly into the structure of your identity, until things collapse from the inside out. They smile at your growth while secretly gnawing at your foundation, cloaked in charm, but rooted in self-interest. But here's the part that we can't skip. It's not just about who we let in, it's about why you keep the door unlocked. Emotional access is sacred. It's like handling someone over the blueprint to your soul, your fears, your dreams, your triggers, and your healing. And if they haven't proven that they can build with care, with consistency, with character, then don't let them touch the foundation. Boundaries are not barriers. They are security systems for your well-being. They don't block love. They filter intention. You don't need to slam doors anymore in order to grab attention. Just quietly change the locks. Check your patterns and ask yourself why you keep offering keys to people who's only ever picked locks. Because until you take ownership of your part in the cycle, the invasion will feel inevitable. You don't need to explain the architecture of your healing to those who only ever showed up to rearrange your furniture. They never planned to stay in the first place. They just wanted to test to see if the spare key still worked. And the truth is, it only works if you keep pretending you don't know your worth. Your worth is not defined by what you do or have. It's about who you are, how empathetic, how kind you are, the way that you treat others, how you care for the world you live in. It's about what's in you, not what's around you or around your life. And that is infinitely worthy. Nothing can ever challenge that as long as you're an authentic person trying to do the good things. There is no reason for you to wonder if you're worthy or not. You're worthy of happiness. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of feeling worthy. If you want more peace and happiness in your life, remind yourself of these three things every single day. Number one, you got to learn just to let it go. Number two, happiness is a choice. And number three, one day you're going to die, so you might as well just do whatever the fuck you want. Peace out, mofos. Take care. Peace.